we are live. Oh, always a few seconds behind the acknowledgement of this quantum momentum of being alive, no, live on this network. Good evening to the ones here in the North Hemisphere. Good morning to the ones on the other side of the world. Good afternoon to some other people somewhere in the world. We are here all in this moment in time that is a quantum of other parallel times. And my name is Miriam Cunha. For the ones who haven't met me yet, I am talking to you from Kelowna City in Canada, BC, Canada. And tonight I am bringing a subject that I don't really know what's going to come out of it because it's going to be live. I'm just going to see what comes because we're living through very interesting moments on our planet. And there are different parallel, well, not always parallel, but different timelines of happenings happening all at the same time. And that's why I have this intrinsic background. I found that this background sort of gives us the idea of different timelines that we experience because it is a concept that is not very easy to fully and deeply understand because we have been programmed since we were born on this body to think and feel time as a linear thing from beginning to end. Something starts, goes through, and ends, and it's past, present, and future line. So this concept is not exactly correct. It has been, if we see it from this perspective, it has been correct as much as we used it here, but it is not exactly the reality of our cosmos, is not the reality of higher consciousness. And just because this is what we chose to experience here, this sort of what some people call prison in consciousness. We are trapped in concepts of time and space that do not correspond to all there is. It probably corresponds to what it has been until now here, but not everything it is what we have been taught that it is. So much that even science has been discovering things that they cannot explain according to the old concepts. So this is not a conspiracy theory. It might be a scientific theory, but it has been proved in some ways. And I actually pulled here an information uh, here online because I thought it was interesting to actually talk about these different realities. And the reason I want to explain that before I go on into doing some psychic readings and pulling some cards to see what we're gonna what we are about to experience until the end of the year is that not everything is set on stone, like I wrote on the description of this video. And the reason why it's not set on stone is because we are co-creating realities. And as individuals, we have choices. We have free will. Free will is one of the universal laws that is that is a must to be respected by all beings on this universe. So some universal laws are mandatory for all beings on this cosmos and on this universe. And one of them is the free will. So when sometimes we think that the system we experience here on earth somehow um, defeats our free will or our freedom, it is an illusion. It is an illusion because we're actually trying to convince ourselves that there is something outside of us more powerful than our being. And that is absolutely not true. You are the power over yourself. You are the mighty you, and you have choices. And those individual choices of our own universe with the other parallel universes is what creates this beautiful diversity of outcomes. And when I do readings to people, I always like to let that very clear that I can take a look, tap into what the person is creating with their own will. And what would be the purpose to do that? Because then you can actually do a reflection and meditate about, is that the reality I really want to keep creating? Because if I keep doing what I have been doing until now, and when I say doing means I keep the same thoughts and the same emotions and the same attitudes, this is what I'm creating for my next experience. So if I keep doing that, that is what is going to happen for sure. But if I change, if I don't like it, I have the option to change. And that is where your free will taps in. It's on choosing. The word choice, it's very important right now to be deeply understood from within your heart and your soul. And that is our big challenge right now, because our planet as a being is evolving. Our planet also has free will. Our planet decided to move on evolution and create a different time, to go into different timeline and create a different reality. And some of us can decide now with our free will, our own choice, to move on with the planet to this different timeline, or to keep on that old timeline, or even a different one, because there are many timelines. According to our choices, we are going to be connecting with different people that make similar choices. And usually when we make a different choice than another fellow being that we have been connecting with, the what happens is that people split because they decide to follow different timelines. And you can actually see those different timelines right here on the planet right now. I think I kind of touched on that before, but very lightly. It's think about, if you're here in Canada, but even in Canada you have different things. Okay, so I'm here in this valley, and I decided that I would live where I live right now. I don't want to get into details where I live, but I live in a place that, although it's in a city, a small city, it is um, far away from the city itself. It's kind of a hidden energetic place, and it's embedded by nature. And that was a choice made to be here. And other people made a choice to be living in an apartment, and out of a sudden they put a one of those high power transmission towers that I don't want to say the name right now. Now they're calling it 4 plus right on top of your building. Okay, so are we going to be upset because of that, or are we going to look inside of us and actually ask, okay, the choice, why did I make the choice to be in this apartment? Or why did I make a choice to be living downtown? Why did I make a choice to be in a bigger city right now? Why did I make a choice to be in another country? Let's say, unfortunately, let's say Argentina right now, it's going through a very um, difficult moment. And those are all choices. And I'm just gonna ask for one moment because I need. Okay, I got out of concentration because noise is here, but I will get back into synchrony, into synchronicity, into tuning. All right. So I think I explained already enough about the parallel timelines. If you have any questions about that, let me know. You can always contact me through my Facebook page, through Instagram, through some of the links I have below here. You can join the group TransVibrating. It's a small group right now, but I believe it's going to be growing. And then just a moment. Okay, I think now it's going to be quiet. All right. Why did I make this choice? Why did I make a choice to be talking to you at this time? Okay. Anyway, and that's another important thing. Don't be upset at you for the choices you have made until now that you don't like, because you always have the opportunity to change your choices. Always, always. We make it more difficult because we get into these dramas of detachment. We get attached to actually suffering, attached to the choice we made, even if we're unhappy. We 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 love this dramas in our life because it's programmed on us by the system, right? We grow up listening to music that is very dramatic. Lots of drama on music, lots of drama on movies, lots of drama on soap operas, and lots of dramas in our families, and etc., etc. So we just grow up thinking that is normal, that we're here to suffer, that we're sinners, we're bad, blah 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 blah. Time to choose a different timeline for you. So the word of the night is choose. Choose wisely, and don't regret, and don't be so worried about the choice, because it doesn't matter if you don't like it later, you can always change again. So in the timeline that I am choosing, that is the preset I'm going to put for the reading tonight. On this timeline that I am choosing for myself, which is a timeline of joy and bliss and happiness, let's see what's coming for the rest of the year. And I have to share with you these beautiful cards that I found this week. I went for I went to a psychic fair to do readings on Friday, and I ended up forgetting my cards. So I went and bought new ones, and I found this beautiful deck here. It's called Cryon. Cryon is an entity of the magnetic field that has been channeled by different mediums in the world with very interesting messages for the upgrade of consciousness of humanity. So I'm gonna pull three cards of this deck here for the upcoming of my timeline where I choose happiness, bliss, harmony. Uh, all right. So I got this family, family forever, family forever. I'm gonna put it here. See what else goes with family forever. Never alone. Oh, this is beautiful. Very interesting. And benevolent change. I like this. All right. So for the timeline of happiness and bliss and joy that I choose for the rest of the year, and you can be on the same timeline as me, it's a choice. We have this benevolent family forever, which I interpret as family is not only the same DNA blood family. Family is the group of people that you can count with always. They are always there for you, and you're always there for them. That is family. And we have family in our star beings too. We have family in different parts of this cosmos. We just don't remember. And they're all here. They're all here. That's what I'm getting. And they're all here right now. All right. And you're never alone. Okay, so on this experience of whatever happens outside of my reality, I am never alone, and I have family that is forever. And there is a benevolent change. Okay, let me go back to talking about our free will. Remember that I asked for knowing what is coming for the rest of the year for my choice of reality, which is a choice of happiness and joy and peace and harmony. And this is what I got. And this timeline that I'm choosing, it's a timeline that many of us are choosing. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. On this timeline, I'm not alone. And there is an eternal family behind backing up this choice, and it's a benevolent change. So it is not like a timeline that is unique for me. So I'm not going to be alone on this timeline that I'm choosing of happiness and bliss. And maybe some people that I know will not be on that same timeline. And again, I I will be experiencing this timeline together with other timelines of other people that I see externally. Let's see if I don't have TV, but if I turn on the TV and I start watching the news of what's going on somewhere else that is not where I live, that is not my house, that is not my inner self, I will see other timelines of experiences going on that are not what I choose for me. So I can look at that and acknowledge the happenings in a neutral mode. And that is very important because even when you choose the timeline of bliss and happiness and joy and peace, there will be other timelines that will be running parallel right now because we are transitioning. Our planet is transitioning, our consciousness are transitioning, and we are experimenting overlapping of realities, overlapping of timelines. And there is a big opportunity. I cannot emphasize that so much as much as I would like to. There is a big opportunity right now to choose a different timeline or to choose to look back into the same thing. And that goes together with the Mayan calendar that I study and I teach and I read. It's all about waves of perception, waves of experience chosen by our individual selves to serve together with other beings, and they are parallel waves of experience. And that is why the planet is so diverse. You have people very, very hungry right now, people being tortured, people suffering in stupid wars going on, people that have no money to buy anything. But you also have people that are living in bliss in a place surrounded by nature, abundance, happiness. And then you have other people that have chosen to control things and to be very materialistic and focus on the external side of things and not look at themselves. So there are all these kind of different choices that each individual has made and that is being allowed on this planet to happen all at the same time. And we don't, in our individual experience, unless we expand more our consciousness, we don't need to be grabbing all the dramas to ourselves right now, because we are also part of the individual choice opportunity to choose a more harmonic and happy reality. And the importance of that is that the more people that choose that timeline of happiness, the more people will join, because it is contagious. The timelines, the choices are, you make a choice on your timeline of reality, and you kind of create a, a quantum field that pulls, and some people will feel that as like, oh, I want to be part of that, and then they make a choice to actually make part of that. So if you feed into the timelines chosen to be suffering, aggressive, convulsive, chaotic, if you choose into that, you will be feeding into that same system that you actually don't want to be part of. Some people want to be part of, but I'm assuming that whoever is listening to this video, it's because you're making a choice to change your perspective and to upgrade your consciousness and to be happy and joyful and attract experiences and beings around you that will make you joyful. All right. So many things in the tangents. I'm going to ask now, just for fun, because I already clarified that is not anything that is negative is not my choice right now. I will be observing all those things from the neutral point of view because I like knowing what's going on. But as soon as it is affecting my vibrations, I step out of it. And you should do the same, because we need to feed into the new system of choice, which is joy, happiness, harmony, all these good words you want to include in your choice. And just for fun, we're going to tap into the elections in the United States. Da-da-da-da. Just because that is a very crucial point to define lots of the timelines. All right, let's see what comes out of here. I'm gonna be pulling the cards here, and then I'll show you when I get them all together. Whoa. I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you in a minute. Ta-na-na-na. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. It seems like it's part of my parallel work. Okay. The elections in the United States, that is what I'm tapping into right now on the timeline that I chose to be. All right. Hmm. Young man. Hmm. Very interesting. Hmm. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Enough. All right. Okay. So first I have success, death, and the Empress here. And so it is going to be a radical transformation. Death is not the because many people that believe death is that believe in death, they think that's the end and period, and it's not. Death is the archetype of transformation, but it's a radical transformation. It's completely leaving one thing behind and embracing a new thing. So this radical transformation that the elections bring us, it's successful, and it brings empowerment the feminine to the feminine energy, empowering to women. It brings peace, it brings work, and it brings abundance for people. So this elections, the results will be successful in terms of bringing a radical transformation and empowering women, and will bring peace. It will bring a lot of jobs. It will bring enough for everybody, abundance, and it will bring empowerment of making anything possible happen by a man that actually has a lot of money and values. So the person winning is going to be a man. And well, I guess the two main candidates are men, but is one that has values and lots of money. And I think we know who that is. But after that, there will be a lot of oppression, attacks by the other man, who is very mm, doesn't think about things very well, and is coming from a space. It is actually, this attack is coming from a couple, a woman and a man, attacking with very, very, very bad negative energy. And since we got to this point, now I want to know. Now I want to know. Now I want to know if the tax result How are the attacks going to result on this person who wins? Hmm. Okay, more. The results of the attacks. Hmm. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. Happiness prevails. Okay, so maybe we're going to go through some turmoil after the elections, and that's what we're tapping in. We're going to go through some turmoil because the other side is not going to accept the results, but that's not going to last for too long because the higher powers, when they bring some really bad stuff about the woman on that is attacking, and happiness prevail after that. So again, okay, so this is a matter of choice. The turmoils that are going to happen because of the results of the results of the elections and the winning of a certain person are not going to last for too long, but some people, of course, will be in the middle of this chaos caused by it because they have individually chosen to be at a certain place in a certain time. So, wherever you are listening to me from, ask yourself, am I at the perfect time and at the perfect moment with the perfect people? And then start affirming that you are. And you can change the timeline you have chosen. I would say an example. Let's say if you live in a big city right now by the coast areas, you should be asking yourself if that's where you want to be, because in in our timeline, where the planet has chosen to move on, moves and changes are not always very easy. Moves and change can be um, chaotic sometimes. Like if you are going to move from one house to another, if you don't plan very well and you just wait until the last day and then you start packing, then you're going to have a chaotic move because you don't know where everything is. You don't have the boxes. You don't have who is going to take things to the other place. But if you plan and you look ahead, okay, I'm going to move in a month. I'm going to get some boxes. I'm going to start packing slowly. And I know that I need to have a transportation to take my things to the other house. And I plan things accordingly to how I want the outcome to be, according to what I choose it to be. And then things move smoothly. And that is what is happening right now on the planet. And some of us have chosen to be at places that are experiencing more chaotic uh, things happening in wherever you live. And some of us have chosen to be in places from knowing inside, know, being places that are of higher altitude and not by the coast areas and not by huge cities that are usually the target of the chaotic situations happening on this transition of the planet, which is the timeline we as a collective of humans have chosen to be. Okay, now that I say collective of humans choosing together, remember you have your individual choice for your personal life. And the collective of humans have a choice as a collective for the bigger outcome, right? The bigger timeline. This collective of humans we are right now, it is clear that is being divided because of personal individual choices. We have the ones that decided to believe on many things that are not exactly true, and some that have decided to get rid of fear and choose joy and happiness for their lives. But still, as a collective humanity, we are building a reality or several realities, and we are building we're creating these realities right now. So what I read about the elections of the United States, which influences the whole world. Some people from the US ask me sometimes, what is it of your uh what's the word, why are you so concerned about what's happening in the US if you're not here? That's what they say. Because the US has been chosen by our human collective to be the main country influencer of this system we live in. And whatever happens in the US is going to influence the whole world no matter what. That is the reality we live in. And that is why I am concerned with what happens there. And also because the person that is leading there right now, it's a person that is backed up by beings that are concerned with the well-being of humanity as a collective and are helping on this transition. And I know that because I have tapped into that. But I'm not here to convince anybody about that. I just share what I know, and you can take whatever you want or not. So as a collective, we're for what I've seen on the cards, we're choosing the reality where he wins again. And it brings good things for the system, for that country, and for our planet, because it's going to be like a snowball. And there is an opposition that doesn't accept that. And this opposition is going to fight it, but it's not going to succeed, and it's not going to be too long that we will tap into a happy place. A happy place. And that is the timeline that many of us have chosen. All right. What else can I tap into? I would like to tap into Canada right now. Let's see Canada. Let's see Canada. What's the next 2.5 months for Canada bringing? Canada. Hmm, that is surprising. Hmm, not really. Canada, Canada. Hmm. Hmm. I'm laughing, but it's not a reality that I will choose. Oh yeah. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So I'm not gonna be showing the cards because it's too many cards, but Canada for the next 2.5 months is showing um, that we reached a peak of like how can I say, of abundance. We reach the peak of abundance, which creates, because everything is cycle, right? So this peak leads to the next natural movement, and people are worried about that, worried that there will be no more chances to have pleasure here. The feminine power in Canada is being controlled and crashed, controlled more than anything. And pleasure is being crashed, and then it comes a radical transformation. And this radical transformation here is a transformation where we got the tower, and the tower is the destruction of the structures in such a, like the death card with the tower together. It's a big crash. It's a big crash of the crashes give us the opportunity of reinventing ourselves. Crashes big brings us the opportunity of renewing ourselves. Everything has a good and a bad side, remember that. So we're going to be put against the wall by a woman of power to change the way we are directing our economy. And let's see, what is this woman gonna? She's gonna change. It's funny because it's a woman. First, you see the woman power, the feminine power being crashed and dominated, and then everything crashes and radically changes, and then we're put against the wall to actually come up with the feminine power to change the material world and to create a better outcome with compassion. There's going to be a lot of suffering here in Canada. But after that, happiness comes. Comes. Oh, okay. Okay. So this is gonna last longer than in the U.S. Canada. So I'm thinking that for what I got from the U.S. elections and from what I got from Canada, because Canada and the US right now are on totally opposite sides in terms of politics and systems, that the US system prevails, changes things much faster to a happier outcome, although despite the attacks and the controlled opposition. But Canada suffers much more on this because we are on the opposite, that is gonna lose there, and is gonna, so the system is gonna be led after that by a woman who's gonna try to restore things here, and after a lot of suffering, happiness comes from a couple of other two different people that steps in to change things in Canada. All right, so that's the general outcome for Canada. And what I want to clarify again is what I was saying at the beginning, is that we all have our own individual choices and individual outcomes in the midst of the big one. So it doesn't matter if the outside in Canada, the outside of the reality, outside, I mean, outside of you, of the reality in Canada looks like what I have seen here. Your own personal reality into that can be directed to be at the best place at the best time with the best people always. So this should be your mantra right now. It's to wake up First, smile to yourself and say, I love you, which is something very difficult to say. But if you keep saying it, it comes. And then when you smile at yourself and be happy about who you are, which starts changing things too to the positive, then you say, I am at the perfect place at the perfect time with the perfect people, and I am happy. I am in bliss. I am in joy, and I attract opportunities for being joyful, for being in peace, and for being conducted to an upgrade of consciousness, to a level of consciousness that steps out of the dramas and the chaotic situations that have been imposed by the system that I look at with my neutral eyes. I know that was a lot. It just came. And just rewind and listen to it again. I'm going to be listening to it again because many times I say things or write things and I don't really know what I'm saying or doing because it's coming through and I'm just doing it. And then I have to listen to it again for my individual self to listen again. I'm just going to take a look if there's any okay. All right. What time is it? How long? Okay, we have another 20 minutes. If you're watching, if you wanna ask any question, I see Susan. I don't know if you're still there, but hello. If you have any suggestions for me to to tap into right now, I thought that those were the most important things. But since I am from Brazil, I'm gonna ask about what's Brazil role on this for till the end of the year. And if you have any questions, the tap into the live chat. I can read it right now. Okay, Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Oh, I gotta show this card. Brazil, the new Eon. Brazil has predictions of being the lead of the new times for Earth. I know it doesn't look like right now, but wait and see. Some people, somebody watching me is laughing about me right now. All right. And yeah, that's where the abundance and the strength is going to be. Actually, there is this disbelief in general about Brazil, but that's where the power of the planet. Whoa! Whoa. I don't need to open anything else. Look at this. Ah, Brazilians, the only thing I can tell you, if you're there in Brazil, just move out of the coast areas, but expect the best for the outcome of that place because it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful there. And that is probably why there is a being there also leading on the same line of the being leading in the US right now. The people just don't understand just because they're tough on talking on their language. They don't understand where these beings are coming from. But if you go inside and tap inside of you, okay, Robert, you have a question. How about the BC elections? Okay, let's see. Let's see that. The BC elections. The BC elections. BC elections are coming soon. I haven't been paying much attention on that, but let's see what comes here. The BC elections, the BC elections. Sure, sure. Yeah. It seems like it's something that shouldn't be done. It's a superficial action, but it brings strength and values. Hmm. That's interesting, Robert, because uh, although we always see politics as being arranged and manipulated, the BC elections look very interesting. Mm. Shouldn't talk too early, but they look interesting anyway. All right, let's see. Oh man. Hmm. Hmm. There's no escape in BC for the radical transformation that we saw before in Canada in general. But in BC, these elections are it's something that didn't need to be done really, but at the same time brings strength to people. It's kind of like it taps into the belief that people need to that they can change something, and they will go to vote in the hope of that their values are listened. But then manipulation comes from from high powers that are connected to very negative, very negative spheres of energy. And there is a dispute in between two men, and then the economy of BC is put against the wall because a very important decision needs to be done, which is like we enter into having to be very careful because there is again a radical transformation happening. And for the three places that I open except for Brazil, so for the United States, for Canada, and for BC, I got this. And this is radical transformation for us here too. Apparent, apparently, I don't know if there is a woman running, but the woman is not going to win. I don't really know who is winning, who is running for BC. Hmm? You gotta wait because BC is a good place to be at the end after the turmoil goes after all these mechanics of the superficial side of elections happen. We get this. We gotta endure as humanity on this radical transformation. And I think since I opened for individual places, I'm going to open now in general for the world in general because I've seen the transformation, the radical transformation card on on almost all the readings. So now I'm curious about the world. The world. All right. Okay. The world, the planet Earth. Address numeric address 606, human beings, planet Earth, next 2 months coming. We have the star. Mhm, mhm. Just a moment, I'll tell you. Oh, wow. Wow, I knew this was gonna come again. I knew it. Uh, we're up for a radical transformation no matter where you are in this planet. And it's the feminine power taking over. Taking over, no, but coming out of the darkness, I would say. Justice. Justice. Ooh, the next 2 months is there's going to be a lot of justice being done to all the things that have been oppressing us in this planet. They're going to be put against the wall. Whoa. Okay, so the next 2 months for the Earth. We have the star, and the star and the sun are different. The star is more of a superficial light when you interpret this, but the stars together with futility, so it means that humanity is looking to superficial things right now and not to what is important. And then we need to look at what's important, which is our consciousness, tapping in to higher levels of ourselves, which brings us light and a radical transformation and the comeback of the feminine power. And then we have justice coming, which is bringing a lot of a lot of things to the surface, a lot of cruelty and oppression that we've been suffering. It's going to be coming to justice, and women that have been leading women in a bad direction have are going to be put against the wall. And then we have a new beginning with more passion and completion. And this is for the next 2 months. So again, the radical transformation is leading here on the next 2 months. And what can I tell you about that? Be prepared with connecting to your heart. Connect to your heart. That's where you will know what to do, where to be, who to connect with. That is very, very, very important, my dear fellow human beings. I cannot emphasize as much as I can this, but that is what is most important right now. Tapping into your heart, connecting with your higher self in the knowing of what to do, where to be, and who to be. And always stating every day, I am at the perfect place with the perfect people at the perfect time, because we are all surfing a collective wave of radical transformation on the planet in different levels at different places. Everyone has already chosen where to be at this point. Some last minute decisions will be made, but most humans have already decided where to be at this point and where to go through this radical transformation. It is a moment of rejoicing and celebrating because it is a change to the light. Everything is cyclic. It's not that the light or the dark is better than the other. It's just a cycle. And we already entered this enlightenment cycle, and nothing can be hidden from the light. When you turn on the light in a room, you can see everything that is there. When you turn off the light, you don't see things that are there unless you go inside. So we have been keeping our light inside of us, and now it's time to put it outside and ride the waves of change with joy. Detach from anything that is still hanging in there that might cause you suffering. If you need to detach from it out of a sudden, and be joyful right now. The more joy you express, the more contagious it will get, the more people will tap into joyfulness and peace sooner than later. And my dear fellow human beings, I'm going to finish this transmission right now. From my heart, transvibrating always with you. Remember to subscribe, to click, to share if you want, and laugh.